Hi, everyone. This is JB Broderick from Network Now and White Glove Publicity. I'm here today with Taylor Manning, who is an up-and-coming entrepreneur who's crushing it in the copywriting field. How are you, Taylor?
Good. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So this is a great topic, copywriting for the web, because it's a lot of people I see do their websites backwards. They write about themselves rather than for the visitor.
Yeah, exactly. And just a little bit of introduction on what exactly I do. My title is marketing strategist and web designer, but what goes into both of those is the message and the copywriting. So no matter what type of project I'm working on, that is a huge focus. And you're exactly right. People get kind of overwhelmed when it comes to writing their websites too. I find a lot, my clients at least. So, and then they end up just writing about themselves or writing very kind of trying to write corporate-y instead of being personable. So I think it's going to be a great topic.
Okay, cool. What kind of clients do you work with primarily?
So primarily I work with women entrepreneurs who have some sort of expertise that doesn't have anything to do with the online world. So they're normally looking for somebody to really guide them as far as the tech and really getting the message out to people through the online space.
Okay, excellent. Well, I work with women entrepreneurs too, so we're good. Yeah, I started Network Now about 8 years ago, and we're literally just transitioning to global now, offering virtual memberships. And I also have a publicity company called White Glove Publicity, where I work one-on-one with my clients for 3 months to get more eyeballs on their brand. So yeah, so we know a lot about the same things. But so let's talk about the difference between web copy and print copy, first of all. So I think people just need to know that when people go online, think about your own behavior. You're not going on and reading. You're in search of something. You jump on a site, and you need to know immediately if you're in the right place or not.
Exactly. There's millions of resources online, and probably millions for whatever your expertise is in. And there's all types of information that's right for them, wrong for them. So when they're on your site, they're really just trying to find something typically quickly. And they might have multiple tabs open and multiple searching here and there. So you definitely want to have that big message that's really going to connect with them right there in the spotlight.
Yes. So how much I see this, you probably see it as well, that there's just too much text on a homepage.
Yes. I have a lot of clients who do that. It's because they'll try to do their own copywriting, and we'll be kind of doing both at the same time. They're kind of behind. They're very motivated to get things done, and they have this copy that is just so in-depth, and it's just too much. And it's hard to find that main point, that main attention grabber with paragraphs and paragraphs. So you really want to have, in my opinion, you want to have something big at the top, which should be visually pleasing. So whether that's an image of you or a really nice graphic, as well as some type of text banner that might go over the image, right underneath of it, just something that looks good and really stands out and gives that big point. For me, I made the first thing on my website say marketing strategist and web designer for women entrepreneurs, because I think they can see that. And if they're way off, they can leave. But if that fits them so far, they're good. And then as soon as they scroll down, it goes in and explains very briefly and to the point, but really connects with their language. I think that's important too. And it explains their current situation and then what the situation will look like after we work together. So,
okay. What's your URL?
It's taylormanningcreative.com.
All right. So you guys can click on there to check her out if you want to see what hers looks like. You want to, after we get into the content a little more, do you want to put some people in the hot seat and look at their homepage real quick and just give them a couple?
Yeah.
If anyone wants to find me, I guess you can evaluate mine too, but mine's
Laura
pretty
says,
my
oh.
homepage. Laura, she's afraid. Be afraid. Don't be afraid. All right. So let's get back to the point about the copy being about the website visitor. So it's all about, you hear this over and over again with all your marketing. You need to know who your ideal client is, what their pain points are, or what their biggest desires are, and how are you going to provide a solution to that. So your web copy needs to be talking about that as well, just in a much more edited format.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. And I always suggest what really helped me, and when I redid my copy in this way for my own business, is when I really got people saying, yeah, I just loved your website copy, which was something that I had never been told before until I focused on this little tip. So what I did was I really started focusing on what people were telling me in our first calls together. So whether that was a discovery call or our first call actually working together, really kind of hearing about how they described their problem and how they described their business and how they described what they needed help with.
Mm-hmm.
And I really translated that on, the first few lines of my website. So when someone read that, they'd be like, oh man, this girl's like spying on me, or like, how does she know that I was just doing that? And I've helped a couple people do that, and it's been really successful. And then, of course, like I did say, then you want to go in and how they feel afterwards, which you can follow right up with testimonials.
Okay. So what is the step-by-step process for somebody? If they wanted to try and do a little bit on their own, what would you suggest they look at first?
Right. So definitely, you've heard it before. The first step is to get clear on your audience, really, really specific. And I know we've already been talking about this, and I know everyone has heard it a million times, but it is so, so important. And it goes in your website and it goes in your marketing, because if you're leading people to your website and your marketing, which you should be, you want those two messages to really, hit home together. So that's the first step.
Mm-hmm.
The second step is really breaking down what the goals of your website are. So what do you want your website to, or what do you want people on your website to end up doing?
Mm-hmm.
For me right now, it's to schedule a call. So one, I make that easy to do with buttons and links. But I also flow into them doing the call. So I have a few pages. So we have my homepage, which we talked about. So we'll talk about some other pages. So on my about page, it talks about, first, instead of talking about my background, which a lot of people do, like, I'm not going to talk about stuff that I've been doing the past 5 years. I'm going to talk about stuff that I've been doing right now, like that last success story. I really want to get something very current to start with, and kind of broad in a way. So it really connects them with how me and the person reading the site work together and how we relate. So you almost want to describe your audience there on your about page. So it starts off with that, and then it gets a little bit more into my background and leads into again. So it's kind of like it ends with what it started with. So I talk about my background, and then I lead into how I got where I am, and then kind of my recent track record, I guess you could call it, my recent success. And then, basically this could be you too, just schedule a call. Right. Same with my services page. I talk about the services. I talk about who would need that service. Why would they need it? How are they feeling right now? How do you know if you need it? And then what your business will be like after you've had it. And then just schedule the call. So it's really important to have those goals established. What do you want people to do? Not everybody's is to schedule a call. It might be to buy right then and there. It might be email. It might be, whatever. So.
Right. Well, I love that point that you want to know who's coming to the page, and you need to know, you have to figure out what you want them to do. It can't just be this static page. There needs to be a call to action. So like you're saying, so how do you use software to schedule your calls? I use TimeTrade on my website.
I use Calendly.
How do you spell that?
I'll type it in.
Okay. So I think TimeTrade, I pay about $49 a year, and it allows people to schedule calls from my event calendar, from my homepage, from my email signature. Yeah. So that there's not that back and forth on email where things can get lost in the cracks, and it's not very efficient
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, Calendly is very similar. You can set up different event types and then create all those links. I have a free version if you just have one event, but I think I'm paying $10 a month for it.
Okay.
And it sounds very similar.
Mm-hmm. And I love your description about the about page. Mine is probably not correct, but I know that that's how it should be more about what you can do for someone else, not I went to school here and there and yeah. But leave that for LinkedIn, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
I sprinkle a little bit of that in towards the middle section, but
right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And I love the point you made about what your business will be like afterwards. So that's what great marketing is about. Describe where they are right now.
Yeah.
And then how you're going to get them over here and what it's going to look like. Yeah. The after. They're like, I want that. Yeah.
Exactly.
Rather than just being about your product, all about you, all about your service. It needs to be about their problem and then the results afterwards. That's awesome. Mm-hmm. So I have a couple members on here that might be interested in some hot seat review. Emily, are you on here? Let's see. Emily is one of our, let's see here. Yeah, she's the green egg. You need a photo there, girl. I'm going to follow her. All right. So Emily, all you need to do is click that join button underneath our boxes and you'll be put on camera if you want to go on camera. Otherwise, type in your, and then type in your URL as well. And then maybe Taylor can jump on that page.
Yeah.
All right. So Emily's one of our new virtual members. It's literally launching this week, Taylor, where so we're going to open membership up all across the country and then eventually the world. But let's see. Cool. All right, so I see you're connected, Emily, but your camera's not on for some reason. Oh yeah, Laura, you met Emily on Tuesday. That's right. Are you coming on? I'm listening while I bake. Oh, okay. Someone's getting ready for Christmas. That's awesome. All right, so Emily, let's see. I have her paperwork somewhere right here. I could type it in if you can't, Emily. Oh, there we go. mindfulyogaPsychotherapy.com.
All right.
Oh yeah, Emily, maybe are you on Chrome?
Yeah, that might be a problem.
If you're on Chrome or Firefox, you're good. If you're on Safari, it won't work, but I don't think she could have even gotten this far. So because she's on and I can give her props, but there we go. I see a camera starting. Maybe. No? No.
See it like
blinking. You're on Firefox? It should work. Well, Emily, why don't you try talking? We might be able to hear you. No? I don't know. All right, so why don't you just review her site for now until she figures out the camera.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I like that the homepage, it's very simple. But what I would do is, you have your logo and then you have basically the name of the business and then Emily's name and then guiding your path. So I would really I would kind of push that up and make it in the banner itself. I know that's not really going into the actual words, but I think also how you see the words can affect things. So personally, that's something I would do is kind of shorten that a bit. And then, I like how you have what is it, how does it work, why yoga therapy. I really like that. And I think if you had it down here in the white, you'd have more opportunity to kind of go more in depth and tell kind of like a story with that. And for example, so what is it? Mindful yoga psychotherapy is, definition. But I would include more, I know you say by teaching clients to be aware of their bodies in the moment, but I'm not sure, I do like yoga actually, and I'm not sure if I need this. So it's like, by teaching clients, so where are the clients at who need this and what are they struggling with? What is kind of leading them to need this is kind of what I'm trying to explain. And then you have why yoga therapy. Through this process, clients are able to access their own inner wisdom, find greater clarity, contentment, and overall sense of wellness. Okay, so I like that. How does it work? Clients are guided to know. Yeah, so really I think the key thing that you're missing is kind of like the before part. So like connecting me and going, oh man, that's me, and this could really help me. So I think you're kind of seeing that before. You have the after slightly. You could even go more in depth with that because I'm sure the after is amazing. And then it can be helpful for many reasons, including, and I like that you have bullet points. I'm a fan of bullet points and lists.
Okay. She's saying look below to see who needs it. But the problem with that is that people give you literally seconds to determine if you can help their problem. So they're not going to scroll down looking to see if they don't connect with your result.
And I think it could just be like, you know, you do have minimal copy on the homepage, which is good as we mentioned, but I think you could have a little bit more just to give it a little bit more details and neatness for the homepage.
I like your idea of moving the logo and her company name and all that up to the banner. That's true. Up to the top header bar or whatever it's called.
Uh-huh.
And then just have a sentence like, are you stressed out or experiencing anxiety or whatever her main client's problems are.
A more concise promise. Yeah, I mean, she does have that. I always have to reread because I don't want to miss anything. Through this process, clients are able to access their own inner wisdom and find greater clarity, contentment, and overall sense of wellness.
She's on.
Perfect. Hi.
Hi. Thank you.
Of course. Like the promise is there, but it's just like I'm wondering, and I guess it depends on your audience, how familiar they are with how, this is kind of an interesting way to say it, how familiar are they that that's what they need? You know?
Yeah. Most people are not familiar. Well, they don't really understand what it is, and so it's hard for them to, so it's a big part of the challenge is really just making it clear what it is I'm offering and why it's really relevant for people, because anyone and pretty much everyone can benefit from it, but how to make it clear, like, you know, you really want to try this.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, and it might be going more in depth of, yeah, anyone can, you know, benefit from this, but who are you working with primarily, and who do you find is most attractive or attracted to it, and like who are you going to be focusing on targeting? Because if you'll be sending them to your website from social media, those messages really have to line up. So you do have to be careful with trying, and I'm not saying you're doing this because I don't know, but like you do have to be careful in general, targeting too many different types of people or targeting everybody. So the more clear you are, and you won't push people away with that either. You'll actually, you know, there are people who will read between the lines and realize it'll be good for them too. Trust me. My site says women entrepreneurs, like huge at the top, and I have men targeting me, men contacting me all the time for help, and it's like it's right there.
Right.
Well, you could still do work for them even if you don't target them.
Right. Yeah.
If you wanted to.
I'm still figuring out who I want to target exactly. Right now, I'm at stressed out New Yorkers, which is pretty much everyone.
Well, here's the thing, though. You know, right now she's not virtual or digital. She's located in New York City, so it should say that right on the homepage. New Yorkers. It doesn't. You'd have to dig in to find out where you're located.
Good point.
Yeah, definitely. That's good to know because I didn't know that you were local. So.
Right, and this is a one-to-one in-person service, so it's really for New Yorkers. If I'm providing it.
So you could do a really, you know, New York is the hustle and bustle of a city. You can use that. Just bring that in. New York City hustle bustle turned into, you know, some relief for that in general. I don't know.
Relaxation, peacefulness, ease.
Yeah.
Right in the center of New York City.
Yeah.
That would be more impactful, I think.
What you were saying about the reasons why, who might want it, that's a little bit below. I had that on its own page at one point, and then someone gave me the feedback, no, that should be on your landing page. But I felt like on top, I had to keep it as simple as possible, like, what is this and why? So I wasn't really sure where to put that.
Uh-huh.
Right, yeah. And I like the bullet points there. I really think, I I think just reworking the what is it, how does it work, and why. So maybe instead of saying guiding your path to an aware, authentic, and easeful life, which I do like that, but rework it a little bit more to really connect with that person who's work, or that person who's gonna, schedule something with you. So make that first line really mean a sentence or two, but really, really targets that person and really gets their attention. And then move the why, how, what, how, and why. Okay. Move that kind of down, and then I think keeping the rest of that there is fine. I don't think that that's too much copy. Even if you did want to add a little bit to it, I think you'd still be fine.
I've been really trying to reduce because I felt like I had way too much text on every page, and so I've been working on making it as to the point as possible because I just know people don't really like to read a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, I think, sorry.
Carla wrote a suggestion, maybe you target people with limited time. Is that what you're trying to go after? Or no?
I think everyone has limited time, right?
Sure. That's true.
But I guess I take the point of saying that, yeah. Definitely. I mean, I'm working on figuring out who I want to target because I do think it's useful for so many populations.
Yeah, and even saying limited time, it's like, yeah, that does target everybody, but I think it really connects with people too, because it's like, yeah, I'm definitely limited on time. I don't really got time to go to yoga. But when you say it's for me, for that reason, it's like, oh.
Right. It makes you feel like you have more time.
Yeah.
Okay. So any other questions, Emily, on your homepage there? I
mean, I have lots of questions. I don't know how much time we want to devote to my site. And we were just focusing on landing pages?
Well, kind of, yeah. If you had one more thing on the homepage, I was going to jump over to Laura's page if you don't.
Sure. I guess I'm wondering, I think it'd be nice to have a picture of me, but I don't want to take away from the kind of simplicity of the blue flowing background. I think that's so nice. So I wasn't really sure how to handle that.
Yeah, I do like that. So if you move the stuff down like I mentioned and you kind of made that top part more bold, I think what you could do is, since you would have a little bit more text down there at the bottom, definitely a pic would be useful, and you could kind of work on how you included that. I think that would be helpful, a visual to kind of see it.
Right, because she's the one working.
Towards the top,
I'm sorry.
Sorry, towards the top, you're saying?
I'm saying kind of, you can keep the blue at the top and then maybe put an image of you under that with all of the text.
Gotcha.
Right. Yeah, I think a picture is big. Yeah, because they're working one-on-one with you, so they need to know who you are.
Yeah, and I haven't done professional photography yet. That's coming up soon.
Good.
Yeah, perfect.
Great. Thank you so much.
All right. Thanks, Emily.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
All right, Laura. I know you're not on, but you're listening, so I'm going to put in your website.
All right.
She's coming on. Look at her. All right.
Awesome.
So Laura Barry is going to be rebranding, or let's say branding, with Holly. I'm doing it too for my new Universal company. But any big takeaways? Oh, that's not available. So org.org doesn't work anymore?
Oh, it does? Huh.
Yeah, I'm on it.
Oh, you are? Okay, it didn't go through for me. Okay, cool. Go ahead.
I'm afraid to have you keep looking at it, Jamie.
I'm blocked.
Blocked you.
So, as you'll probably be able to see, the website, or as background, the website started really as just a support for my book and my book launch. And then it moved into some of the events that I was doing with the book. And then it moved into some workshops and some other things. And that was added to the site. And now I've really started to do some more speaking engagements. And that's really what I want to do, right? So the book was created and developed not as a standalone thing, but really as a way for me to have a platform upon which to then get speaking engagements. So I'm in the process right now of starting, because as of like 2 weeks ago or a week ago, it didn't even say that I was a speaker. So I've started to make those changes, but I don't really lose focus that I do have a book, and that is really driving everything. So you'll see, in fact, I was thinking about this the other day, even on my front page. So I'm, one side's talking about the speaking, or rather the pain points, but the other side is addressing and talking about the book.
Yeah. So what I'm kind of thinking, and you have, like you're saying, you have a few different things going on, but I think a good way for your homepage is really to just make it about you without making it about you. So I like your imagine not having your outer circumstances, and then you go into do you desire more. So I really think kind of keeping that, reworking it maybe a little bit, whatever, making it perfect it a bit, and then kind of go in, depending on what type of form you want to speak in. So I or Laura, and then just go into like, this is, I'm not sure the right way to word it off the top of my head. Anything that keeps coming to mind sounds a little silly, but basically Laura's purpose is to help so-and-so accomplish this in their life, and kind of go into that and your main message and your main, because I'm imagining that you're speaking in your book and anything else kind of ties in to a certain message. That's kind of what I'm getting. So I think explain those people who maybe they're good, maybe they benefit from your book, or maybe they benefit from your speaking, whatever may happen, explain their pain points, and then go into your message and your purpose and kind of like finish it out like that. And then you'll have, of course, those pages for your book and your speaking.
Okay. As you're saying this, I'm almost envisioning the front page really being that the initial pain points and what that is, and then almost so not how does this manifest itself or how do you work with Laura, but then underneath the large stuff, almost having 3 buckets of things. One is, so, tap into any one of these resources. The speaking,
right,
the book, the workshops.
Exactly. And if you go to my, we did put my URL in there, and I kind of do that too, is I talk about the problem and the solution, but then underneath that I have 3 images.
Okay.
And it's,
I'm laughing because Jamie keeps telling me I've got to do this, the umbrella thing and the other things underneath it. And now I finally got it.
Good.
I'm just hoping somebody hit tell a little bird while you were dancing so they get the GIF.
So what do you think about the video?
Oh gosh.
I'm going to play, I don't know if it's going to mess up our audio, but.
Well, so basically the video, I initially did the video because I have a free webinar that I wanted people to pay attention to. So basically I'm just telling folks, welcome to the site. There's a lot of stuff on here, and the fact that I have this free workshop, check it out on the offerings page. So it gets them to know, to hear me, to see a little bit of my personality, and to know that there is this something special that's, on the offerings page. If they got to kind of dig for it when they get there, because that's really that there's a lot of stuff on there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think having a video is want to make sure. I don't know if this is something that's past or coming up, but definitely if you're going to pinpoint it towards something specific coming up, you definitely have to make sure that you update it in time. But video it can really help you connect with people, and just kind of work with where the best placement for that is. And I know you're going through rebranding, so the look of your site may change too. But yeah, I think, especially since you're doing speaking, I think that having a video could be beneficial for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Of course.
That's good.
All right. I'm going to hop off. You can let somebody else hop on.
All right. Don't burn those cookies, girl.
No, I won't.
So Taylor,
Mm-hmm.
less is more. Edit, edit, edit.
Yes.
Talk to the pain points.
Yeah.
Highlight your benefits, the before and after. Make a good visual impression. What else would you like to tell us?
I mean, yeah, those are those really main key things that if you have those in mind, you'll definitely be doing pretty good. You can feel confident. That's important too, is to feel confident. And you have the landing page, but if we move into more of your services and all of that, if you offer services like me, I don't know about, the other people in here, but it's been helpful for me to make sure that what my website says is, what I really want to be offering and pushing, and just really explains everything very nicely. I prefer to have pricing on my site. And it's what I want to tell people in the phone call. So it makes my phone calls easier. So especially since my goal is to get a call. And I've noticed it's been working because I've started explaining things more in depth in my calls like I used to. And people are like, oh yeah, I got all that on your site. And then we're like, oh, okay. So we're just kind of moving into the sale,
Yeah.
which is good.
Right. Yeah.
So.
If you leave it too kind of vague, then you're wasting time on calls with the wrong people.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's great. Really good.
Oh, we got another website.
Let's see. We're only reviewing. Oh yeah. She's a Rebecca. Who is this? Let me see who this is. Hold on. Oh, all right, cool. Hold on one sec.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. Rebecca is I just had to answer something. Sorry about that. It's all about me. Rebecca is a premium member of Network now too. So jump on her site real quick and.
Perfect. So I like the picture with the evolve. I can see this, with the word evolve. I see this evolving eventually into a very professional photo with great quality, but that's a great starting point. And I think working with that, I like visuals first up there. But what I see that I would change is you have the Wise Woman Retreat image, and then you have programs, workshops, retreats. I would move that down. I know it's important to have it up there, but I would move up. Are you ready to take action and become a better you? That's a good line. Yes. So I would move that copy up. We've all been there. There are times when we feel like we aren't doing the things we need to lead a healthy life. For many, this becomes a theme of our daily life. Yeah, move that up right under your image and get that the copy seems pretty good. And oh, I love how you ask the questions. Have you dieted, detoxed, restricted? It's like, oh, yeah. Maybe you've given up. Yeah. Are you throwing yourself into and out of crazy? Yep. So I like the questions. I think people are going to read it and be like, oh, how does she know that? How does she know I've done all that? So even though that's probably a ton of people have done all of the above, it's good. It's good copy. So I like the little quote. You're kind of using things that I like, the bullet point questions, a little quote. And then you say, get out. So yeah, just move that copy up. I know the workshop's important, but move that down and move those buttons down. Is my biggest suggestion. I'm laughing.
So I noticed when I went on her site, I noticed she had a light box pop up. Do you like that? And I know they convert well, Taylor, but how many seconds would you suggest people have until they have that pop up? You don't want it to pop up right away.
Yeah, good. I don't think I saw it pop up, which is interesting, unless I totally.
You clicked it and don't remember.
I think a lot of people say they're immune to them and whatnot, but I don't mind them, and I think that they do convert pretty well. But if you're like me or Jamie and you're in the marketing world, I think that we're pretty good at trying to resist the lists, and at least that's my focus a lot of the times when I'm online. But for your target audience, I think that it would be good. But I would say, how many seconds? At least for me, at least 20.
Wow. Okay.
That might be too much, though. That's not really my specialty. But for me, that's kind of what I would say, because people would have time to read it and really connect. And then you'd be like, oh, bam, here's your opportunity right now in front of you.
Okay. Somebody's suggesting the bullet points would look good in various heading sizes. That's Emma. Thanks, Emma. She's a graphic designer, so she knows.
Yeah. And you have your testimonials. You kind of almost have too much on your homepage, though. I'm kind of wondering if the buttons that you have are necessary at all. And then you have a lot of opportunities. So you have one, I can go to any of these pages, or I can look into this retreat, or I can sign up for 15 days to a new you, or I can book a strategy session. So it's like,
or I can watch a video.
Or I can watch a video. So it's kind of just too many options. I would only have one option. And then if you want to do some type of an announcement, there's ways to do that a little bit more strategically as far as design goes, where it wouldn't be such a big deal. But yeah, I would kind of limit it. And I'm kind of assuming that programs, workshops, and retreats are somewhere in this menu. Probably work with me. If not, they should be. You could maybe do a drop-down menu or something like that so you can get rid of these buttons, especially because they're also not very branded, but that's more into design. But I'm not focusing on reading. Which option first?
Getting them on the mailing list would be good.
Yeah, get them to sign up for your list. It depends on what, I don't know what you're offering in your business exactly. For me, it's to get emails and get calls. My biggest one right now is to get calls, to bring in those right clients, which is why I spent so long getting clear and getting the perfect copy that I knew people were resonating with. So calls is really important for me. But I don't know. Email list is obviously important. And if you get them on your email list, you'll probably be telling them about the retreat. So.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, I think that's
good. It's good. All right. So one more time, Taylor. I hear an echo in your voice. Do you hear my echo? It's weird.
No.
All right. So, and just in case, sometimes, this is still beta Blab. So sometimes it gets a little glitchy and my replays don't show the chat. So can you say out loud your website address again for anyone that wants to check you out?
So my website is taylormanningcreative.com.
And 2 M's.
Yes.
Okay, cool. And then the sites that we reviewed, for those that are listening and don't see the links, Emily is the mindfulyoga psychotherapy.com, and Laura's was laurabarry.org, and Rebecca's was rebeccafit, I believe, .com, yes. Mm-hmm. And you can find me, Jamie Broderick, at networknowconnections.com. All right. So this has been great, Taylor. Thank you for your time today.
Yeah, thank you. It was definitely awesome. I love helping everyone out with the tips.
Yeah, if anyone wants to follow Taylor on Blab, you just click the little box, the little icon next to her name, or you can click her name and follow her on her Twitter profile below her yellow name there, and follow her on Twitter.
Yeah, definitely.
And you can network with the people that are still on by just clicking the circles above, and you can follow them, see who's on. So, Blab is great for learning and for expanding your network, because you can network with everybody that comes on, and you can jump on other people's Blabs and get known. So do you have any other Blabs on your calendar coming up?
I will actually be on Blab this Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern. We're talking about your vibe attracts your tribe. I'm actually having a guest, so we'll be talking kind of about this. I mean, about messaging. So not quite your web copy, but about getting your message and your audience clear and how to grow your list.
Okay, very good. I don't think I have any more scheduled for this. Oh yeah, December 28th. I'll be somebody's guest though. So until next time, I'll stay in touch with you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.